Let's begin with the preview for next week, because I think it's going to be a long one. So this is the preview for the week of May 30th to May 30. Well, sorry. This is the preview for May 30th to June 3rd. Okay, let's begin on Monday. On Monday, we'll probably have lower volume. It's a holiday in the United Kingdom and in the United States. Not a very important holiday, but markets are basically closed. Memorial Day and the spring holiday in the UK. Don't worry, we'll be here at markets. We'll still be open. Forex never sleeps. We'll have somewhat lower volume and a chance to analyze the movements before the bigger events later on. Tuesday, as I mentioned beforehand, it's the last day of May. Sell in May and go away. Not so fast. Anyway, we have last-minute adjustments and a few important figures. So we have Eurozone CPI on Tuesday, and it's an opportunity to go back to Monday and mention that on Monday we have the German CPI, which basically, well, it shapes the Eurozone CPI, it feeds a lot into that. Okay, so Tuesday is going to be the Eurozone CPI. Then Core PCE Price Index, the Fed favorite. That's the important one to watch. The year-over-year one is more important. The trend is important. We've seen the core CPI move a bit to the downside, slipping gradually from 2.3 to 2.2 to 2.1. Let's see if we have another fall. Also in the core PCE one, that will lower the chances for rate hike, or if it stabilizes or goes higher. Usually they run in tandem. Okay, there's a gap between them, but the trends are similar. We also have Canadian GDP. This will be the GDP release for April. So it will be it's a monthly one, the first Q2 GDP. Also elsewhere. On Wednesday, busy day, first day of the new month, June 1st, Chinese PMIs, Purchasing Managers Indices. In China, we have also in the UK and also in other places, but in China, it's the official one, the government one, and then the Caixin Manufacturing PMI, which is the independent one. Let's see how it moves things. It's important for Australia, and there's no time to rest for those awake at night. Have both Chinese PMIs and the Australian GDP figure for Q1. Australia takes its time with GDP figures. Let's see if the economy is doing well, thanks to housing, thanks to domestic demand, or not so well because of the Chinese slowdown. And on Wednesday, we also have the first hint for the PMI. First hint for the non-farm payrolls. The ISM manufacturing PMI in the United States, the market one has been a bit weak. Let's see if the ISM one follows. We also have the milk auction, bi-weekly milk auction in New Zealand, important for the Kiwi. So a very busy start of the new month. Okay, we do not have crude oil inventories on Wednesday. It comes on Thursday because of the holiday. But on Thursday, we have bigger events as well. Not only the oil inventories, we have OPEC meetings. Probably not going to agree on anything. OPEC is long dead in the water. I mean, they don't make decisions. Saudi Arabia does whatever it wants and the others follow. Well, also Iran, now that it's back online, is pumping lots of oil. They'll continue with the same trend. Yeah, so I believe that it could push oil prices lower, but maybe it's already priced in. Another hint for the non-farm payrolls, the ADP non-farm payrolls coming out on Thursday. This time, usually it comes out on Wednesday. So we've seen a good correlation last time between the ADP non-farm payrolls and the government figures, the BLS one on Friday. So perhaps it'll have more importance this time, even though ADP is only for the private sector. Okay. And of course, the Draghi show, ECB rate decision on Thursday, June 2nd. ECB meets only 6 times a year. This time we have it coming all together in the first week of June, also with fresh forecasts. Okay, so Mario Draghi and his team, Hawks from the Bundesbank and the Doves from other places, not expected to change policy. Remember, the interest rate is at 0%. Main lending rate, the deposit rate is at minus 40 basis points, minus 0.40, and the QE program is in full swing. We're going to have more implementation. We had an implementation of the rise from 60 to 80 billion. euros per month, money printed out. In June, we're going to have the TLTROs, the targeted loans, basically paying banks to lend out money to the real economy. And the ECB is going to begin buying corporate bonds. So these are not new decisions, but the implementation begins in June. Maybe we'll hear more details about that. More forecasts. Does the ECB see things in a bit more optimistic way? Probably not. That's an important event, of course, on Thursday, even though policy is not expected to change. Okay, very, very busy week. Opportunity to mention, we'll have live coverage on FX rate. I'll be joining Valeria Bednarek and Mauricio Carrillo for the ECB decision and also for the GDP today. Going back to the calendar, we have on Friday the non-farm payrolls. As always, the king of Forex. This time, perhaps a lower gain in jobs is expected, which is not necessarily bad because, you know, some people can say that it means that the United States is getting closer to full employment. And yeah, and of course, wages are in focus because that's the source of core inflation. Also on Friday, coming after the non-farm payrolls, 90 minutes later, is the ISM non-manufacturing PMI. The services sector, even though it does not serve as a hint for the NFP, it is still of high importance because it is sort of a forward-looking indicator for the wider US economy. All in all, a very, very busy week, starting with the holiday on Monday, but we still have German CPI and other figures. Tuesday, the last day of the month, scramble to close positions, and we have this important Fed favorite. On Wednesday, lots of figures, manufacturing PMIs. Thursday, Draghi, OPEC, ADP, and Friday, the non-farm payrolls. Okay, so a very busy week next week.